Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 4, Episode 3. The title of this episode was Read It and Weep. The reunion from Season 3 left us with all of these conversations about Martell and Ariane Curry, his mistress, his girlfriend, his child's mother, whoever you want to title her. So there was a lot of discussion about her. And one of the things that came up was, did the other men know about her? And if they did, how much time had they spent around her? Were they in her vicinity? So there was mention by the host, Carlos King, about them all having a boys' trip in Atlanta and about her being there. The question was asked directly if Maurice and Marsau had been around and had seen the feeling or the affection that he had for her. When they answered the question, Marsau says yes, Maurice says no.
Marcel ever been around Martell to see the feelings that he has for her?
No. Yes.
At some point post the reunion and prior to the beginning of this season, Marsau posted this picture on social media. This is the boys' trip that they were on, that they were speaking about, and we see that not only is Marsau there, but Maurice is as well. So he apparently was lying at the reunion. The gag is that it's his own brother that posted this picture. By now, we all know how this reality TV thing works. They'll identify an incident and they will build the whole season around it. It looks like this is going to be that incident. And this is a topic that's going to be a little bit polarizing because they're going to be those folks who say Maurice shouldn't have lied. If he hadn't lied, there would be nothing for him to be caught up with. And other people will say, there's such a thing as bro code, both literally and figuratively, in that you don't air your boy out. Why would you post this picture knowing how this is going to make Maurice look? So in the beginning of this episode, the Scott brothers sit down to talk. Maurice tells Marsau he thinks he owes him an apology. Marcel says, you shouldn't have lied. If you hadn't lied, there'd be nothing for you to have to double back on, which is really the truth. Now, I'm going to be Team Marsau on this. And part of the reason is I'm not a big fan of Maurice. I think Maurice is a little bit of a bullshit artist. I think he talks a good game. He has that lawyer thing in him where he tries to stretch the truth and he tries to avoid questions. And I think Kimmy sees through a lot of that. But I don't like the way he manipulates the truth. And I think that's what he did in this instance. And he just never thought it would be his own brother that would air him out. But I mean, again, if you did not lie, then we have nothing to talk about right now. And you can try to stretch your words if you want and say, well, I didn't technically see the affection between them. You know what Carlos was asking when he asked you that question. You know what he meant. Were you there? And you were there. You blatantly lied. Then he goes on to take himself out of it and say, well, it's affecting Kimmy. And if it affects Kimmy, it affects me. Well, if it was going to affect your wife, you shouldn't have lied on the front end. And this is not something that's foreign to Maurice. He knows how this works. He's been married before. He's a man of a certain age. Just stop with this whole nonsense about, well, it's not me, it's my wife. You shouldn't have lied knowing how it would affect your wife. And the reason you lied is because you knew your wife would not have wanted you there. During the reunion, she said that. She said, if you were to be there, I would expect you to get up and leave. Now, clearly, that's not what he did. And then there's this other rumors that, he and Marsau were cheating as well and that there were other women there, which is yet to be determined. But he knew what he was doing when he did not tell the truth because he didn't want to get in trouble with Kimmy. And this just leads me to another aspect of Maurice that I don't like. He lacks humility. It seems like he believes he's always the smartest person in the room. And in this instance, you need to just apologize to your wife. You need to stop backpedaling. You need to stop trying to rewrite history. Just say, hey, you know what? I was there. I said I wasn't. It was a lie. My bad. I apologize. And just stop it there. Just like in the first episode of this season when Kimmy was asking him about the cheating rumors and he was dodging it and dancing around it and, asking her questions, trying to throw her off track. I respect Kimmy and I like that she's a smart woman. I think she sees a lot more than she admits to. She's definitely not Tisha, no way, shape, or form. And that's why my prediction is I don't know that this marriage is going to last between the two of them because I think she sees him for who he is. I'm hoping that he can be self-aware enough to realize that he was wrong in this instance. So next we have this, what I consider a filler scene with Tiffany and Louis. I don't know why they keep trying to force this couple on us. I don't like them. I don't find them interesting. And the only time they are doing anything interesting is when they're being messy, which is what got them both in trouble this episode. So we see that they're talking. So Tiffany tells Louis about Melody's pajama night, and she mentions how she and Kibby sat down to resolve some of the issues that they had at the reunion. Something had come up about the fact that Tiffany had been allegedly fired from the Chamber of Commerce, and Kimmy brought it up. Louis and Tiffany had been going around talking about everybody's business all season, so that was her and everybody else's opportunity to blow them back up. So she tells about that, how she and Kimmy had a nice conversation and they resolved some issues, and how Stormy came in and inserted herself and was being messy, which she was. Then Louis goes to tell her about his feeling about the beef or the tension that he has with Marsau. And this again goes back to the reason why I don't F with them as a couple, because they are hypocrites. The same things that they do, they have a problem when they feel like it's being done to them. Marsau has every right to feel a way about you talking about his marriage or giving him unsolicited advice. Louis and Tiffany, you guys aren't marriage counselors, you're not therapists, you're not clergy. You are two people that they just met, two people who also have been divorced. So I'm not saying that they don't have any, perspective, but don't act like you are the moral majority here. It's really easy to sit from the outside looking in and judge people's relationships, especially theirs, because you've been watching them on TV for 2 or 3 years before you came on. Marsau has every right to feel some kind of way. Because A, he didn't ask you for your opinion, and B, he doesn't know you. Why would he receive what you have to say when Marsau has been married 15 years himself? It's not like he's some young newlywed who needs some counsel from his elders. I mean, you guys are peers. You guys are of similar age. He doesn't know you. Why would he take your counsel? And it's quite presumptuous of you to believe that he would or that he should. It's that behavior right there that got the both of y'all blown up at the reunion. The reason why people did go digging to find out things about your past and to blow you up, because you walk around like y'all are perfect. Those in glass houses, folks. Again, I'm Team Marsau. Marsau 2 for 2 in this episode for me. We had a quick scene with Martell and his mother. Apparently, he is coming out with a sweet red wine line, even though he says he's not a drinker. Martell, we saw you doing the calendar shoot. Now you got this wine. Later on, you're going to have a book. Did you get your contractor's license? Can we talk about that? Because you're doing all this other stuff. And again, it seems like you are copying Melody, trying to have all these different ventures going on. And I get, you have a brand and you're trying to milk it for all you're worth and you need some money. But dude, why don't you take all this energy and sit down and study for your exam so that you can go back to doing what you do well and make some real money? Speaking of the book, they wrap out this episode with the book signing. So Martell, along with his children, has written this book called Plane Ride to Canada. He scheduled the book signing for a weekend in which Melody has custody. Melody has just had some deaths in her family, so she's planning to drive back to her hometown and be with her family. She's taking her kids. So what we see is he's sitting at the book signing before it starts, and people are coming up and, congratulating him and talking to him, and everybody's asking, where are the babies?
Of course. Where are the babies?
Mom, I was expecting them to be here. Just make sure they didn't walk through the door. I was hoping to, surprise them. I prepared them for today, but it is early, so.
He says that he told Melody about it. He's aware that it was her weekend, but according to the paperwork, if it was an important event, they could swap out weekends. He says he told her. He's making it sound like she's just ignoring him. She's just not responding to him. You see, he's looking out the door as if he believes that they're still going to come. When we hear Melody's story, she's saying that she got an email. It sounds like it was last minute, just asking her if she needs to get the girl's hair done because of this the book signing. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle, especially with these two, because I say it all the time. I think that Melody and Martell are the same person, and they're still in the stage where they're being petty and taking shots at each other and trying to leverage the kids to hurt each other. And I think this is just another example of that. By all means, I think the kids should have been there, but by all means, I think that he should have made a genuine effort to coordinate this time. swap with Melody, or to say, hey, I know it's your weekend, but you know, this is really important. The questions I have is, how far in advance was this planned? How soon did he tell her / ask her? You know, how much of this is just the drama of TV? You see him looking out the door and all this, and the seats that are empty with the children's names on it. I mean, this could be the build up for drama, gives them something to argue about throughout the show. But, you know, like a lot of people say, it's the kids that really lose out, because if they wrote this book, they participate in the book is about them, whichever, they should have been there. They should have had their moment. On the flip side, I understand that, you know, you can't, I understand where Melody's coming from. Don't hit me last minute, and don't hit me with vague messages where you're not being clear about what it is that you want or you need. I get where she's coming from too. And knowing Martell and knowing how he likes to, how manipulative he is, you know, because my impression in this was he was trying to make Melody look bad. You know, he had that little poor me look on his face. And Martell knows what he's doing. He knows he's cute. He knows how to draw sympathy from people. I could see how he might have done this just to make her look bad. The sad thing is that if it's at the expense of your children, I would hope to God that he would not do that. But stranger things have happened. Sidebar, I just have to stop and note how cute this little girl is. Milani is the cutest little thing. She is always smiling because she is such a happy baby. Anytime she's on the screen, I'm excited to watch her because she is something else. And I can't wait till she starts talking, because I think she's going to be a whole character in and of herself. But back to her parents, you know, I'm going to, if I have to pick a side, I'm going to go Team Melody on this, because I believe that Martell's track record, you know, he's just a sneaky, slimy SOB at the end of the day. And I think that, you know, he planned poorly. Best case scenario, he planned poorly. And that's not far-fetched, because we've seen how he moves in business. So maybe he did this at the last minute, did not coordinate with Melody, waited till last minute and thought that she was just going to make it happen because that's what she does, or because she really wanted the kids to participate. You know, worst case scenario, this is all a grand scheme to make her look bad, with no intention of the kids actually being there, just so that he can say this later, just so he could have it on TV, and later on he could use this against her and just talk about her not being a good mom and her not being a team player and all sorts of stuff. I don't trust him, no way, shape, or form. So, but you know, I'll give this the benefit of the doubt and just chalk it up to miscommunication and just leave it there, even though I don't know, Martell he you know, he's shiesty. So anyway, that was this episode. It was okay. You know, we're seeing some things. I really hope that we stop talking about this picture, the whole thing with Maurice and Marsau. I hope that this has been resolved. Obviously, you know, they're gonna have to agree to disagree. And I don't know what else is really going to happen this season. I mean, it seemed like that's what they were trying to wrap this whole storyline around. And once you pull that out of the equation, I don't know. I just don't want to watch Melody and Martell argue for another 8 episodes, even though I'm pretty sure that that's what it's going to consist of. But anywho, I'm going to stop here. Let me know what you think, and just drop down in the comments, and we'll talk about it. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.